EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the North Star State, where the sounds of the Yaller horn and the Skol chant echo throughout U.S. Bank Stadium in downtown Minneapolis. Today we've got an interesting Week 11 matchup on tap, as it'll be the Chicago Bears taking on the Minnesota Vikings. On the visiting sideline, their head coach. His guys just 2 wins over their last 6 games. On the other side is Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell. His guys ready to feed off the energy in this building as they try to win one in front of the home crowd.
Cairo Santos to kick off for Chicago.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And they will be led out by their signal caller in his 2nd year in the NFL now.
Back on the field after a knee injury robbed him of his rookie season, but he showed a ton of promise in the limited sample size we saw of him during the preseason. Go back to the University of Michigan. You saw an accurate passer who ran the offense extremely well. But don't be fooled by that. He was never afraid to attack defenses with his arm, and he'll try to do the same here in the NFL.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 30.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Mason going to get it on 1st down. And slow going there as he'll only get a yard, maybe, up to the 41.
A gain of 2.
Oh, look there at his numbers on the ground a week ago. Pretty good as he found himself in the end zone on 2 separate occasions.
And those are the most important numbers, because no matter what you pile up prior to the goal line, getting in is all that matters. Putting those numbers up on the board, and they love them when they're 6s.
McCarthy, he'll set to throw it. Now he's going to step up and run. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down.
That's an early scramble that can be viewed positively by either side. From the offensive point of view, it begins to establish him as a possibility to keep it on certain plays. And defensively, they avoided giving up a huge play in one of their first tests in containing a quarterback on the run.
And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. So here now the Bears offense for their first drive of the game. And they will be led out by their 2nd-year quarterback.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or 2 free.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
It's a pickup of 3.
The numbers for Swift in last week's ball game: 16 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown.
Has 9 rushing touchdowns on the season, so a lot of credit has to go to the rest of the offense because you know those big guys up front are doing work. But now, the goal is to get to 10. And don't for a second think that the defense doesn't know that. They'd like to do their best to keep him at the end zone in this one.
A Chicago first down there on a gain of 11.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
They run for the first time with Ty Chandler. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. The Bears at 5-4 now on the year. Yeah, they've lost 3 straight here. It kind of goes without saying, I guess, but they could certainly use a win.
Yeah, no doubt about that. There's a difference between a losing stretch and a losing streak. And right now, they're not playing their best football, but if they were to fall here, and now you're looking at going 4 games without a win, things can start compounding themselves pretty quickly from this point forward.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. They'll run right here with Swift. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
2nd and 10 at the 37-yard line.
On play action, here's Williams. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd.
Now that's a heck of a moment for your first sack of the game, because if this long drive ends without a touchdown because of that sack, we're going to look back and say that might be one of the biggest plays of this contest.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion.
Let's just call it as we just saw it right there, a breakdown defensively. Seems like no one went with the tight end, and no one really did. Had all sorts of space in the middle of the field. Yeah, everyone else was covered, but he was not. Big play results.
On the ground, it's Malonga. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9.
It's a pickup of 6.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense.
9-yard line.
They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. This is a 2nd and 4, ball at the 9. Now a handoff to Chandler. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. We're scoreless after 1. The Bears with the football. We get set to begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Now the Bears going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. Third down at 6. Swift going to try up the middle. And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. A strong 8 yards will keep this drive rolling. Here we go now on 1st and goal.
Chicago.
They'll run Monangai. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Looking at this now, you got a couple more cracks here this close. Sneak it?
I don't think you even go into a huddle. Just line up, snap it, and fall in behind those guys into the end zone.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Swift will take it in. Touchdown, Bears. And that touchdown's going to put him in double digits now for the year. It's his 10th rushing touchdown of the campaign.
For the extra point.
Santos able to tack on the extra point. And that makes the score 7-0.
Vikings nothing.
So that drive, 12 plays in length. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run.
Cairo Santos to kick off for Chicago.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. That's going to be taken at the goal line, and he'll return it. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. The Vikings taking the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. They'll be looking to match that touchdown from a moment ago. 7-0 is the score as they begin with a 1st down. On play action. Now McCarthy. Finds his man. There's Jordan Addison. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. An excellent way to start the drive there. 18 yards.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup there, especially when it comes on the heels of a 3-and-out the first time you have the ball. They were determined to not have that happen again, and that's a nice throw for their first down of the game.
A strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49.
A gain of 12
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down.
First down.
Now McCarthy. That is caught by Josh Oliver, the former San Jose State Spartan. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 10 more there and another 1st down.
Vikings, first down. 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line.
On play action, McCarthy. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bears sack. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down on the sack.
At the 48-yard line.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. To the air with McCarthy. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, McCarthy. Wide open receiver, complete. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 28. Nice 3rd down conversion and even 20 yards.
1st and 10 at the 28-yard line.
Straight ahead, here's Mason. Tyron Johnson there on the tackle.
Tyron Johnson on the tackle. A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5 at the 22-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 5 now from the 22. 2nd quarter action with 1:59 remaining. Here's a 2nd and 5. They'll go play action. Here's McCarthy. From the right side is going to be caught by Samuel. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
That's another Vikings first down. 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line.
They'll hand it to Mason. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 41 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
This is a very impressive drive, especially when you consider where they started from to now be set up 1st and goal.
Yeah, and some nice running right there. That's what got them the first down. But at this point, I suggest open up your playbook. You can call just about what you want.
And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line.
The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Throwing is McCarthy. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10.
Well, the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal?
Now a timeout called for by the defense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal. Here's McCarthy. Middle of the field to Jefferson. Able to hold him to just 2 yards, and now it's 4th and goal.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. This from 25 yards out. And this one is right through.
So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
So time enough for a kickoff here. 5 seconds remaining in this first half.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And with 5 seconds to go, this will likely be our final play.
They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground.
And he's going to be taken down here, as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. Scott Hansen, good to be with you from the Orlando EA Sports Studios with an abridged halftime report. This one shaping up to be a tight one, as evidenced by the scoreboard. Both these teams playing it close to the vest in the first half. What will happen in the second half? Let's find out as we send it back to the stadium and our commentary team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden, getting set for quarter number 3 here. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The Bears offense and running back DeAndre Swift headed back onto the field. And you have to imagine this defense saying, how do we stop this guy? He has run roughshod through him to this point in the third quarter. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. This game, it has obviously been all about the defense on both sides of the football. Which offense is going to break through here? We'll see if they can do it on this drive.
And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down.
These two teams, you may remember, they met up at Soldier Field earlier this season with the Bears winning that one. So if they can win here in Minnesota, they'd get a sweep of the season series. Throwing is Williams. And that's out to the flat for Swift.
Oh, an absolutely filthy juke. He's got some space now. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
That turns into a very well-orchestrated play right there. Going to work his way out of the backfield to the right. And after he looked it in, he found plenty of space to roam and picked up big yardage.
On 1st and 10, it's Swift.
He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards.
At halftime, you had to feel like the defense had to be in a good position. They had to feel good about themselves. They had this guy boxed in all game long, but after that run, that might be the breakthrough that he's looking for. Now they may have some difficulty dealing with him the rest of today.
That's complete right side to Kmet.
It'll go as a gain of 4, and it's second down.
Well, that's always a good place to throw it just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-bodied tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days, we wanted them to block. Now coaches want them to catch the football first.
Mark that as a gain of 16 to set him up 1st and goal. And this is a guy who's going to get some carries going forward. Picked up as a free agent just this past week.
How about fresh legs, right? We always talk about bringing a guy in, provides that spark, and maybe a little bit of extra energy.
And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal.
Swift again, but he will not get to the goal line. In fact, he won't get to the line of scrimmage as they push him back to the 2.
That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
Ready to run!
Oh, the motion comes too late, and this is going to be a delay.
Offense.
Penalty accepted, and that pushes him back 5.
Still 3rd down.
How crucial will those 5 yards be? We'll see as they come up again here, 3rd and goal.
They'll look to throw for it with Williams.
And that is incomplete, but a penalty flag coming in. This could be a 1st down. And since the penalty occurred in the end zone, move the ball to the 1-yard line.
1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Costly penalty.
So the ball's moved to about the 1 after the penalty. 1st and goal.
They'll run with Swift.
And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
Once again, it's Swift.
And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago.
DeAndre Swift
with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Bears take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Santos now to add the PAT. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game.
The score, Bears 14.
So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it culminates in a touchdown for Chicago.
Cairo Santos to kick off for Chicago.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And the decision to bring it out, kind of a costly one, as he won't make it back to the 20. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
That to the sideline and incomplete. Boy, they're going to say there's a receiver in the area. That was close to grounding, but it's second down. Looking to throw McCarthy. Out route to Jefferson, and he's got it.
A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
Brings up third down.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
And McCarthy going to sneak it. And he will have the Vikings first down, at least at first glance, as they'll spot the football just beyond the marker. They find a way to convert on 3rd and inches.
There may have been a little bit of an element of surprise there. 3rd and inches, and they go quarterback sneak. I still feel like this is a play that often is reserved for 4th down.
On the give, it's Mason.
Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run.
And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack.
Gervon Dexter.
He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. And I'm not sure he got there. Did they stop him? They did. A wall of bodies there. Nowhere to burrow through the line on the quarterback sneak. And the Bears are going to get the football back, and they're going to get it in great field position.
What is up?
They will run straight ahead with Swift.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down.
And that's just an ideal run to start this drive because they're in full ball control mode now. So if you keep ripping off 7, 8, 9 yards of carry, you're going to have a great chance of finishing off this game.
And they run the option on 2nd down.
And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line.
4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
And this is exactly what you're looking to do offensively. If you can start stringing some runs together like this, you'll keep churning out 1st downs, and that's going to put you in a great position to carry this one home.
They'll fake the give. Now Williams. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it.
And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Second and 1.
Here's a handoff to Swift running left.
And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front seven, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
They run it with Chandler.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal.
At the 4-yard line.
Here's Swift.
And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Bears.
DeAndre Swift, his 12th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bears look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter.
Vikings 3. Cairo Santos to kick off for Chicago.
Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
To return is Miles Price. And he won't quite make it to the 25.
And now it looks like he's in some discomfort after being tackled at the end of that return.
While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a 4th straight loss. And that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Open man is Samuel, complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
A gain of 24 yards. And the Vikings first down. 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
McCarthy operating from the gun.
Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down of the sack. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Looking to throw. McCarthy. Over the middle, complete to Samuel. This offense so far on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw.
He's got his target. That's complete.
He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20.
It's a gain of 29. And the Vikings first down.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right.
Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle.
And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Back to throw. McCarthy. This is caught. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal.
T.J. Hawkinson. A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and goal at the Bears' 2-yard line.
Operating from the gun.
McCarthy. There's Addison. Touchdown, Vikings.
A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year.
Vikings are finally into the end zone here in this fourth quarter. Now the extra point try forthcoming. It's up and good, and the lead is down now at 11. It's 21-10. So that drive goes 8 plays. And Jordan Addison capped it off with a touchdown catch.
2 scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And this one won't bounce their way. It's covered up by the hands team. The risk reward of the onside kick, when you don't get it, the risk comes out to play, and here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything, because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them, and field position leads you to that type of play calling, whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things. Now they've given up that type of field position, the advantage is switched to their opponent.
A good job in coverage there. They took away his top read on the play, so he went through his progressions and ended up settling on his running back, who scored on their last possession, but the coverage held. It goes incomplete.
And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Whistles now in a timeout defensively. So a wise move as they'll use the first of their timeouts to force one more play before the 2-minute warning. The first down line at the 34 here on third down.
To throw, Williams.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. That's on target, but it's no good. He had it on line, but it came up just shy of the crossbar. And this will remain an 11-point spread.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
Throwing to start the drive. McCarthy. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack.
A loss of 6. Brings up 2nd and 16 at the 42-yard line.
2nd and long. Open man, that's Felton. Here now, 3rd down.
A gain of 12 yards. It's now 3rd down.
McCarthy, he'll set to throw it.
And that is incomplete.
Intended for Justin Jefferson.
That means it's just one last chance left, and this has to be a first down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out.
They'll indeed go. Here's McCarthy.
And this one is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Bears will get the football back. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive.
And a few kneel downs should come very close to finishing this one off, depending on whether or not we see any defensive timeouts. They still have 2, but using them would just be prolonging what's really already been decided.
50-yard line.
Now a 2nd and 6. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down.
It's a gain of 10. First down, Bears.
looks like he'll throw here. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Incomplete.
2nd and 10.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 40-yard line.
What is up? Vegas!
To the air, Williams.
Man is caught at the 6-yard line. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago.
Rome Odunze.
40 yards.
And the Bears have pretty well put it away here in the 4th quarter. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, 2nd year in the NFL. But I don't know if last year as a rookie, if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that. So he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the 2nd-year quarterback.
Cairo Santos to kick off for Chicago.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
This fielded right at the goal line. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20.
Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here.
Well, probably not much that they can do at this point, CD. Down 3 scores late in the 4th quarter. This is going to be a little too much to overcome, you would think.
Yeah, they'll go down swinging, but in the end, I think we saw the writing on the wall a while back because one team was clearly better than the other in this one. And while it didn't quite reach blowout status, I think we knew who was going to win this one well before we got to this stage. That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
Now it's 2nd and 10.
Looking to throw. McCarthy. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bears sack.
Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game. A tough spot here, 3rd and 15.
Back to throw. McCarthy.
And that is incomplete.
Well, these guys are not going to go out with their tails between their legs. They're going to keep taking their shots until the clock's at 000. But that one, like a lot of others, winds up incomplete.
On is the punter, Hecker, as he gets this one away. And it's fielded at the 34.
A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards.
And the Bears take over.
Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. Well, CD, this is the ideal situation in the 4th quarter. You come out here late, not much time on the clock with a comfortable lead, and put the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, this offense, all game long, they've been powerful, they've been dangerous. You're exactly right. They can end this one on their own terms.
Looking to throw is Williams.
Pressure comes, and down he goes.
Jonathan Greenard running in to pick up the sack.
And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Here's Chandler.
And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it.
Right at the line.
Well, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second